Alright, so now let's get to restringing the Speedloader bridge here. This is actually a pretty easy task right here. I have this guitar set up right now, just an E standard, so as close as it's going to be to E standard anyways, but this part I'm just going to demonstrate using the B string just because that's going to be able to translate a little bit easier on camera. As you can hear that is pretty much in tune here. So what you want to do when you are changing strings on your Speedloader bridge, you're going to go to the saddle right here. I'm going to try and get some close-ups of this so I can highlight them in. You want to push on the saddle right where the string feeds in with the ball end. Push down a little bit. You're going to notice that the saddle can go down ever so slightly. And then this back piece here, you're just going to pull it back. I'm going to lift it all up slowly, and then that saddle is going to come up. And then push the saddle up all the way. And then the string is out. After that, you then just take it out at the nut, and then you basically feed the string in backwards, starting at the nut, and then going all the way back into the saddle here. Feed that string in just like this. Pull the saddle back. Push that top part down. And then, in theory, the whole other design with the Speedloader is that this guitar should now be in tune, or at least that string should be in tune from where you left it. And that's pretty in tune. That's pretty incredible. For how quick this was and for how much this guitar really needs to get going, it's hard to say if this is really worth it, and I do understand why this whole system and these strings have honestly just totally dropped off. It is what it is. This is a really cool piece of guitar history here. So what I'm gonna do at this point is just change the strings, hydrate the fingerboard, clean the frets, and then polish the entire guitar. And I think we're gonna be good to go and actually hear how this guitar sounds after. As you can see here, all the strings are on the guitar and the Floyd Rose is not really sitting flat, so I'm going to adjust this Speedloader system the exact same way as if this was just like a regular Floyd Rose, using just the claws in the back. And I'm also going to tune the guitar, and that's going to help out with getting the bridge a little bit flatter as well. So there's a full tutorial on my channel that will go over everything you need to know for setting up a Floyd Rose, and especially if it is your first time, since these systems require a couple extra steps to get them sitting flat and get your guitar playing as best as you can be. So next up, we actually have to tune this guitar because some of these strings are actually really out of tune. So I have to do that even though the Floyd Rose Speedloader system is supposed to get your strings sitting pretty close to where they were. Definitely not in tune. So if you're in this situation, what you want to do is take an Allen wrench, and there's these little inserts on the side of the bridge right here. I'm going to get some close-ups of this so you can all see it. This is where you actually tune the Floyd Rose Speedloader saddle, and that is where all of the main tuning is going to happen. That Allen wrench is either going to go left or it's going to go right. And let's say, for example, the note is too sharp. You're going to move the Allen wrench to the left a bunch of times and just loosen the string at this point here. Now, if the note is a little bit too flat, you need to raise it. What you're going to do is move the Allen wrench to the right, just like that. Alright, it might be a little bit hard to hear on camera, but now the note is actually in tune. So now at this point, what we're going to do is actually use the fine tuners at the back here. Just get it a little bit closer. And this is going to be as close as that is for right now. I'm going to go do this for the rest of the strings, either adjust them to the left or to the right, depending if they're sharp or flat, and get this guitar pretty well back into standard tuning. And that is more or less it on the Speedloader. If there's anything else weird that jumps up on this, I will document that for sure. Otherwise, I will see you for the next part of this video. One last thing I'm going to do with these old Speedloader strings, that I'm actually going to boil them just to get a lot of the grease and the grime off these strings. I'm only going to do these for the Speedloader strings because they are at a premium and you literally just can't get them. So even though there's only 5 strings here, these can just be some backup strings in case the owner breaks a string and doesn't want to go through a whole new set and the rest of the strings are good or anything like that. What we're going to do, we're going to toss it in a little bit of water here. We're then going to boil these strings for maybe around 7 to 10 minutes or so, and then going to empty out the strings onto a cloth or something to let them dry out. All of the rust, the gunk, and the grime, anything that's on those strings should be off, and you'll be able to use those strings once again.